Hey y'all, it's Fortune Frankly and welcome to Fortune Frankly Fridays, where we do DIY home decor, mostly. If y'all didn't already know, it's Black History Month, and a lot of people are actually celebrating it this year. I wonder why. In today's video, we're going to be taking a little tour of the African continent, and we're going to be creating 3 DIY home decor pieces that take inspiration from traditional art forms on different parts of the continent. So before y'all get ready for the virtual cookout this year, make sure you watch this video. That is, if you're invited to the cookout. Oh, you didn't get the invite? I can't do nothing about that, sorry. There is no cookout this year. Don't worry about it. I'm super excited for this video. I think all of these came out really amazing. They looked better than they did in my head. All right, so get your passports ready. On our first trip, we're stopping in West Africa, and specifically in Ghana. We're going to be using some traditional Ghanaian Kente cloth to make a really cute wall hanging. For this project, you'll need a thick white poster board, Kente cloth, and some polymer clay beads. These are also known as African vinyl disc beads. See my elephant here and these coral beads? Yeah, they gotta go, because we're gonna be needing all this space. Starting with my white foam board, I'm gonna make a semicircle using the string and marker pivot method. And that's basically where you hold the string down in the middle and use the marker to draw a perfect circle. And I'm just gonna cut this circle out with a box cutter. You might have to go over it a couple of times just to make sure it cuts all the way through. And make sure you clean up the edges. Now taking our Kente cloth, I bought a yard of the fabric on Etsy, and I don't need that much, so I'm just gonna cut it down a little bit. Flipping everything over, we're gonna glue the bottom edge of the fabric to the back, just so it gives us a nice clean finish. And we're gonna cut the fabric closer down to the semicircle shape. Now here you have to do a little twisting and dipping and just fold the fabric so that it leaves a clean, smooth edge, but kind of folds in the back. You remember how your parents taught you to iron? That you gotta make these pleats, but they have to be super neat? That's what we're doing here. Now you should really take your time doing this. Make sure that everything is nice and neat, because that really determines how the finished product will look. Now flipping everything back over to the front, we're gonna map out where our beads are gonna go. I also got these on Etsy in 3 different colors, and they already came on the string, so my work there was done. I measured out the middle, and then 2 inches from either side of that middle line, and then another 2 inches from outside of that line. And I just glued these beads in the pattern that I thought would look nice, going from red to orange to yellow, and making some kind of loop-de-loop. I glued the strings down to there, but the strings are made of plastic, so they will kind of curl up, and I wanted to make sure it was super secure, so I took some leftover pieces of the fabric and glued those down to the strings. And there's your finished piece. On our second stop, we're heading to Rwanda in East Africa, and we're going to be making an easier version of their traditional woven baskets. For this project, you'll need sisal rope, hot glue, and some paint. Taking my rope, I'm going to unravel it a little bit and take off the tape from the ends. And I'm just going to glue that down so it doesn't unravel on us. So we're going to start from the inside of the basket, and we're going to roll that rope around itself to make a coil. You might have to hold the rope together at first, but once you get a good amount going, you'll be fine. Once you get to a certain point where you want your bowl to start actually looking like a bowl, you'll need to glue the rope kind of on top of itself, but not directly on top. And depending how far on the edge you glue the rope to itself determines the shallowness of your bowl. The further out you glue it, the more shallow your bowl will be. When you're finished, you can cut the end and glue it just like we did at the beginning and glue that down. I made 2 different bowls of different sizes and I used the entire 50 feet of the rope. To clean these up, I'm just gonna burn the rope. You already know the drill. So this is typically the type of rope you would use on cat scratchers. So if you have cats nearby, make sure that they don't see this, because they will get to it. And now to give our bowls a more traditional inspired look, I'm just gonna paint some designs. The colors in these bowls are traditionally made with thread and kind of woven around the actual rope that's used. That is a super tedious task, so painting it is our best option here. And this is how they both came out. Now for our third and final stop, we're going up to North Africa and landing in Morocco. Now I think you see where this is going. Well, maybe not, because it's not a poof. I'm not making a poof. But we're going to be making a version of a hand-painted plate. For this project, you'll need a charger plate, spray paint, a stencil, and acrylic paint. Starting with this shiny ass plate that's throwing my white balance off, I'm gonna spray paint it in this bright coral color. Once that paint is dry, and please make sure it's dry, I'm gonna place my stencil in the middle and use a marker to trace that stencil out. A tip here is to use a marker in a similar color to the spray paint you used. That way your mistakes are not all on display. I'm going to place that stencil on various parts of the plate just to make sure that everything is covered. Once you get to the edges, you may have to do a little finessing over here, but I'm sure you can do it. I got faith in you. And this is how your stencil should be looking. I'm going to do this around the entire plate and I'll be right back. Now it's time for the paint. I'm going with a little bit more traditionally bright colors. We're doing an orange, a teal, a white, and a bright cobalt blue. And I'm going to use the back of my paintbrush to paint these details on. The beauty of this is that you can paint this pattern however you like. You can use whatever stencil you like. Although if you want a more traditional look, you might want to go for a more Moroccan-inspired stencil. Moroccan-inspired stencil. Originally, I was painting circle by circle, but I realized it was just easier for me to do color by color. Another couple of tips here, work your way from the inside out. That way you reduce the risk of spreading paint with your hands. Been there, done that. If you make a mistake, you can simply wet a paper towel and use the tip of your finger to scrape away that excess paint. And last tip here, you can use the tip of the paintbrush to deposit some paint and then use the back of the paintbrush to spread that paint around. Once I let the paint dry, I covered the entire thing with a glossy Mod Podge. This can be a little tedious to paint, but the results were super worth it. Here's how it came out. All right, welcome back. So because of the spirit and the nature of this video and celebrating Black history, I'm not going to pick a favorite, and I really couldn't do so if I tried. But maybe you can. I'm curious to know which one was your favorite from this video. If you're feeling lucky, you can go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. And if you're not feeling lucky, I'm so sorry, but I hope to see you again in the near future. Again, happy Black History Month to y'all. And as always, thanks for watching.